when it comes to the Denver Broncos, they are going to have the first week of OTAs. And then it's only 2 weeks this year, right, Cease?
Yeah.
So it'll be this week.
They sacrificed a week. So you have OTAs and then mandatory minicamp after that. We basically have about 3 weeks left of Broncos.
Okay. Why did they sacrifice a week?
Sean Payton, smartest guy in the room. Hey, George, we're gonna have that extra week OTAs, okay?
Yeah.
So, but George, that means you're gonna get a break from me. Can I call you?
Yeah.
But even when we're off, George, can I still call you back?
Yeah.
He wants to talk all summer long. Like, go on vacation, Sean.
Right.
Play
Go to New
golf.
Orleans.
All right, so they are going to start today. There should be a day this week where
Thursday.
Okay, open to the
Yeah,
public.
it's open to the media. No, not the public.
Oh, the
open to
media,
the media.
sorry,
Right.
media.
Right. Yep.
The public, bunch of people show up. Like, no, Josh said. Hopefully it's something that's after the show. You and I can get down there. If not, we'll have to talk to our friends and find out what's going on. But
Yes.
a few questions about this camp. And Mike Kliss tweeted about it. He's got an article up about some of the things he's looking for. We'll go over his, and we have a couple of our own as well. First and foremost, and I think this is the biggest question going into year 2 for anybody in Broncos country. Better Bo in year 2? Question mark. Will he get there? Will there be some struggles in his sophomore season? And I think it's more than a fair question. We watched C.J. Stroud kind of take a step back, and that's the most recent, hey, good quarterback, kind of step back, but then turned it on again in the postseason. I will say this, Cecil, for my opinion on Bo's sophomore season, do I expect him to come out week 1 and throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns? I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to look at this as a slow build of maybe we get rid of, like, we did struggle, improve, and excel. Maybe it's just to improve, excel now, moving on. Will there be games where he has a couple interceptions? Yeah, of course. It's the NFL. Everybody's pretty good at their position. So there'll be games where he struggles, but I don't think we're going to be looking at like a month-long sample size, 5 weeks of a sample of going like, man, is this guy the right guy?
Yeah.
And then totally turn it on the way he did. I think we're going to see a good Bo become a solid Bo and a great Bo by the time the season ends.
I think with the schedule and the way it sets up, Bo's going to be awesome from week 1 and then face struggles against Vic Fangio in Philadelphia. Right? Jim Harbaugh will be a test. The Bengals won't necessarily be a test. So I could see after the first month of the season, Bo Nix being among the league leaders in passing. And then the tests come. And the tests are merely Vic Fangio every day out there running that defense for Philadelphia. And then, of course, any sort of test you'll get from your Chargers, your division rivals, etc. Where's Kansas City at? So there are tests along the way. But I think Bo can start hot immediately because of the way that he finished the season. Now, not necessarily the Buffalo game, and that was a game that got out of hand because you couldn't stop the run. But now, inspired by a better defense that gets you the ball back, you're going to have more opportunities. The offensive snaps last year for Denver, and this year, comparatively speaking, could be pushing towards 80. If you get that ball back enough, now you're talking about 80 snaps on offense.
I mean,
let's say 75.
That's 15 to 20 snaps.
Yeah, let's say 75 just to be conservative. But you're going to get the ball a lot. Bo's going to have a lot of opportunities, and Sean Payton, he's going to want to prove that he's the smartest guy in the room. Just ask him. So I feel a lot of passing is coming. I know Phil believes they're going to run the hell out of the ball. I don't. You have a coach that said run it at the top of his play sheet. You have a coach with all these passing weapons. You have a coach with a pass-catching back and a speed back, a space back like R.J. Harvey. You draft him Marion Hampton, you go, oh, God, they're gonna plug it up in there. They're going to pound you on the ground and go over the top. Like, nah, they're just going to spread it around. They're going to use short passes as long handoffs. And R.J. Harvey's probably going to catch 75 passes this year.
I would give Phil the pushback the same way you are about they're not going to be a run-first team. They might use running backs more than they did a year ago.
Right.
But that doesn't mean their identity is run the football.
Well, and then running back as a closer, basically, to kind of eke out either a close win or just you're up by 24 and you just want to just run out the clock. They're going to pound Tennessee. You said 350 and 3 touchdowns. Brother, I'm going to – if there's an over-under, and I'm not investment advice, but I'd go over on that. Against Tennessee?
Take that note,
Week
Kevin.
1?
He's on his phone right
Week
now.
1? There you go, Kev. Week 1 against Cam Ward. Yeah. I think that Vance Joseph's going to have a lot to teach that rookie. Probably some defensive scores. There's another investment advice for Kev. Man, his fingers work fast.
He's just going,
Have you met Kevin? So, I mean, hey, fingers in air guitar. That's what Kevin Kistner's got. Maybe I shouldn't say that on the air. But anyway, I think the Bo Nix hype starts out big. All the shows talk about him. And then Philadelphia's the test. They're the test. Not only because they're champions, because Vic Fangio is going to know the weaknesses of Bo Nix will be exposed.
I mean, dude,
against Vic Fangio.
To your point about Vic Fangio, Vic as a Bronco, the coach of the Broncos, I don't want to say he figured out Patrick Mahomes, but he figured out a way to take something away from Patrick Mahomes,
right,
which no other defensive coordinator had done up to that
right.
point. And guess what they're all still doing? The same thing that Vic taught them 3 or 4 years ago as a Broncos coach.
Yeah, and if you were just say, back to our Cortland Sutton conversation from earlier today, who's Vic going to take away? He'd take away Court. If you're going to say, we're going to take away this one guy, that's Court. That's Court. Mm-hmm. So how is he not a number one? Like, yeah, Vic Fangio is going to test this team, and Bo Nix is going to have to pass that test because that's the level of competition that I expect this Broncos team to be pushing for this year. Be a playoff team, win a playoff game. Greg Penner has said to our very own Andrew Mason, it's going to be disappointing if you just make the playoffs and then lose again.
Yep.
Win a playoff game, and if you do that, get on a roll.
Man, it sure is nice to have an owner that has expectations and is willing to share them publicly with the media, that in turn can share it with the fan base.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's
refreshing.
Isn't it interesting to have an owner that's like there every day, monitoring what's going on,
that pays attention,
talking to the people he's hired, and seeing if things are going in the right direction? Isn't that nice?
Do you think Greg Penner will ever have a press conference where he goes, sorry, guys, I wasn't paying attention? Hey, Walmart, soccer team, whatever.
Right.
I wasn't paying attention. No.
Right.
Greg Penner's all over it, and the command is from on high. And that pressure is on Sean Payton. It may not seem like it, but it is. Dude's well paid. Dude has everything he's asked for. Hey, George, can I get something else on? Hey, George, I got another idea. He's getting everything he's asked for. Now it's time to produce.
All right, Broncos Country, what say you? You big on Bo? Sophomore slump? Are you worried about that in any way? Let us know at 303-713-1043. And do better than this one. Bo's going to struggle. Don't expect anything big, 500 record for the Broncos. That's okay if you feel that way. Just tell us why. 720-635. Hit us back. Give us a reason as to why you do feel the way you feel. And like we always tell you, put your name on your text so that we can give you a shout-out on the show. All right, we're going to get back to that conversation because there's still a few things that we want to monitor.